Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Kanhucharan Patro, neuroradiation oncologist. Today, I am going to tell about dural folds and corpus callosum of the brain. So, dural folds, it is the helping in the supporting and help protecting the brain. It is four parts mainly: flux cerebri, tentorium cerebelli, flux cerebelli, and diaphragm celli. So you can see here, this is the flux cerebri, this is the tentorium cerebelli, this is diaphragm celli, and this is the flux cerebelli. So you can see again flux cerebri, flux cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli, and diaphragm celli. So you can see this is the flux. So you can see here again, this is the superior part of the flux cerebri, inferior part. This is the tentorium cerebelli protecting the hindbrain and cerebellum. This is the flux cerebelli, and this is the area is the this area is the diaphragm celli. You can see again, this is the superior part, this is the inferior part, this is the tentorium cerebelli, tent-like attachment. This is the flux cerebelli. Again, flux cerebelli, tentorium cerebelli, diaphragm celli, tentorium cerebelli. Again, this side flux cerebri. This is the flux cerebri superior part and inferior part. So these are the vessels inside, and you can appreciate, you can go through it properly to see the vessels and parts of the flux. You can, if you can dissect, this is attached to the crista galli, and it is posteriorly superiorly attached to the plane of the skull, and again it the plane of the skull, it is attachment. And this is the tentorium cerebelli, this is the superior part of the flux cerebri. Again, this is the flux cerebri, tentorium cerebelli. You can see here, this is the tentorium cerebelli below the cerebellum and part of the brainstem. So in the dural folds, we can see the sinuses. Otherwise, we can call as mnemonic transverse sinus, occipital sinus, suprasagittal sinus, straight sinus, toss. So you can see this is the suprasagittal sinus, this is the inferior sagittal sinus, this is the transverse sinus. You can see it is mostly it is in between the periosteal layer and meningeal layer of the dura. You can see here, this is the periosteal layer, this is the meningeal layer, and this is the arachnoid granulations, and in between you can find the sagittal sinus, dural sinuses. So superior sagittal sinus, inferior sagittal sinus, straight sinus, transverse sinus, sigmoid sinus, and cavernous sinus. So you can see this is the sigmoid sinus, this is the sigmoid sinus, these are the transverse sinuses, these are the transverse sinuses. Again, you can see superior sagittal sinus, vein of Galen, straight sinus. So this is the flux cerebri, this is the straight sinus, this is superior sagittal sinus, this is the transverse sinus, this is the transverse tentorium cerebelli. Again, you can find this is a confluence of all sinuses: superior sagittal sinus, sigmoid sinus here, straight sinus, and transverse sinus. If you part of the, another thing is the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum is the largest commissural fibers linking cerebral cortex to the left and right. It is the largest white matter tract in the brain. It located inferior to the cerebral cortex and superior to the thalamus. Connects left right cerebral hemispheres. Majority vascular is supplied from the pericallosal arteries. Gross anatomy: it is a 10 cm in length and in a C-shaped. It is a gentle upward convex arch. It is thicker posteriorly. It is mainly four parts: rostrum, genu, body, and splenium. So you can see here, this is the rostrum, anterior, genu, body, isthmus, and splenium. So this is a white matter fiber connecting the right cerebral hemisphere and left cerebral hemisphere. So you can again, this is the rostrum, this is the genu, this is the body, this is the splenium, and this is the isthmus. So this is the anterior part, this is the posterior part. So remember, splenium is posterior, genu, rostrum is anterior. So again, you can find this is the rostrum, genu, body, and splenium. in another form, rostrum, genu, body, isthmus, and splenium. So you remember, this is the genu is the anterior part, and splenium is the posterior part. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe my channel, and you will get an alert. Thanks for watching. So another part is the cavernous sinus. You can see here again in dural fold cavernous sinus. You can see the internal carotid artery, and these are the various nerves. This is the medial, most medial is the abducens nerve, and this is the oculomotor trochlear. This is the ophthalmic division. This is the maxillary division, and this is the pituitary gland. This is again dural fold, diaphragm celli, and you can see the cavernous sinus. Again you can see this is the cavernous sinus here. These are the adjacent structures. You can see here again, this is the pituitary gland, this is the optic chiasm, this is the internal carotid artery, oculomotor trochlear abducens is slightly medial in between internal carotid artery and V1, that is ophthalmic division. This is the V2, and this is the sphenoid sinus. So again you can see in the coronal section, you can see the third nerve, V1, V2, and these are the internal carotid arteries. So in the CT, you will see by adjacent to the medial to the temporal lobe, you will see the hyperintense structure in the contrast enhancement is usually enhanced in the contrast. This is the cavernous sinus. Even in CT, MRI also you will get the cavernous sinus, axial section, and this is the coronal section. But the thing is that you will not able to see properly the the cavernous sinus involvement in the pituitary gland. So you have to take a T2 weighted image. You can see this way T2 weighted image. You can see the clear area, and if there is some pituitary there enlargement there, you can see the enhancement, and it is a the right side, it is a cavernous sinus thrombosis. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. You can see my all videos in the YouTube. Thank you very much.